Let's talk kingdom. He's the one you can lean on. He don't change, he stays the same. Won't find a better reason, no. So come tap in, just listen. And bring a friend, let's spread this vision. Let's talk kingdom. He's the one you can lean on. He don't change, he stays the same. Won't find a better reason, no. So come tap in, just listen. And bring a friend, let's spread this vision.
And shalom to everyone. Shabbat Shalom, more specifically to each and every one of you. Welcome again to this, the time of Sabbath worship here with us on Darash Kingdom Ministries. We are so glad that you are up, and some of you are already starting your days. Some of you are out of the UK, some of you out of China, some of you out of Vietnam. It's already midday for you. In the UK, it's already good and early morning for you all. And those of you in the US of A, from every time zone, East, Central, Mountain, and Pacific, and over in Hawaii, we're just glad to be with you in the Caribbean, both Puerto Rico, Jamaica, Sri Lanka, South Africa, West Africa. I understand Nigeria is here. Some people from this ministry or in Nigeria presently. So we're glad to have all of you here today. We're going to get into the word. That's what we're here for. Shabbat is all about the word. We're going to talk about how to Shabbat, what to do with Shabbat, why Shabbat is so important, and why it is that we live to his glory in this day and make it our business to understand what he wants of us and how he wants it to be done. Let's take opportunity to pray, shall we? Father, we come before you in the mighty and in the precious name of Yeshua HaMashiach, thanking you and loving you for all things you. Every area of our life belongs to you. We dedicate it you. We grace you with our presence. More importantly, we come into your presence to be graced, empowered by you. Thank you. Thank you for help. Thank you for hope. Thank you for peace. Thank you for joy. Thank you for strength. Thank you for all things that come of you. We take opportunity even to repent of our sins. Yep. Sometimes we don't even realize that we can just make an error in thought, maybe sometimes in word. Maybe we've judged somebody, or maybe we did something in deed that we didn't intend to do, but we did it anyway. But Yahweh, we come before you now asking for the light of your word in this day designed to keep us in your word, to share with us and teach us how we are to come out and come into you with wisdom, come into you with humility, come into you with a sense of asking your forgiveness and being with you for all things possible. We confess, Yahweh, you raised Yeshua from the dead, and that he sits in your right hand making intercession for us right now with you. Father, there is nothing that you have not seen, that we have done, that you cannot heal us from, forgive us from, and place us above the circumstances that can impale us and hinder some of us from forward motion and activity. We ask you right now to be with us for your glory, for your namesake, and for your praise. This is what we ask, knowing that you hear and answer all prayers in the precious, matchless name of Yeshua HaMashiach. You are Savior, you are King. More importantly, you are Lord. And Yahweh, I ask you to commandeer my vessel, commandeer our minds, take our thoughts, bring them into alignment with your word. That's why you brought us here into Shabbat. That's why you made this day. This is that day, Yahweh, you have made. It is our will. I know it's my will to rejoice, to be strengthened in you today and be glad. There is no other day like the seventh day of any week, where you ask us to come and rest in you. You ask us to come and sit down, shut down our brains from all of the intellectual and all of the hype and all of the religion and all of the church and all of the inner thinkings we have, and just simply allow your word to dominate our day. Not your Bible, not the Bible that we use. You want us to take your word and have it dominate our day. Those first 5 books you've given us: Genesis, Exodus, Numbers, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, the Torah. We thank you for it because it is your word. It was never called a Mosaic law. That's not what it is. It's your instructions for humanity. And you started your kingdom in full kingdom operation by giving these instructions to Moshe to give to the people Israel you chose. We understand that now. It's been preached at us, and we've taken it for what we thought it was worth, and we've eisegetically adapted and made a whole bunch of subjective references and never ran the writ because we listened to the interpretations in English rather than find the word you gave in your Hebrew. So today, teach us in all of our getting. We just want understanding. So today, he who dwells in this secret place of you, El Elyon, shall abide under the shadow of you, El Shaddai. We do say, Yahweh, you are our refuge. You are our fortress. In you, not in man, shall we trust. In you, not in our ideal of religion, shall we trust. In you, not in our functions of churchiosity, will we trust. And your word is you, literally. So we take now, as your instructions have said, and you've given the prophets to tell us, take this day. Don't think our own thoughts. Don't seek our own entertainment. Don't find even our own pleasures, but to honor you in this day by honoring you, by not doing our own pleasures, not even speaking our own words. Wow, how simple yet complicated we've made that. How simple it was when you gave it, and complicated we made it because we've always got to say something. Father, we've always got to prove we're right and show we know something. But if we would ever sit and just let your word dominate our day, just 24 hours, that's all. 52 times in a year, you ask us to sit still and know that you are Elohim. Well, this is one of those days. I sit still and know your word because your word is your spirit. Help us to see you through the writ, not through our Bible. It's a beautiful compilation of testimonies and records of those who did obey and those who did not obey your Torah. Even our Savior Yeshua, how he exemplified, personified, and ensampled it that we might know what efficiencies look like in your word. So, Father, today, help us to be like Yeshua. Every Shabbat, he sat with you. Every Moedim, he honored you. We want to be like Yeshua, meek and lowly, humble and holy, Kodesh. So we come to you today. We relinquish our intellect. I have several degrees. I have several accolades. I have several things that I could take pride in, socially speaking. I tear them off of me like a bad badge on my jacket. I lay them at your altar. I can do nothing with them. I may have attained them based on a system and a construct of education, but I don't even know how to use them. But I know you can get glory out of those tools I've picked up. But it is your purpose and your plan. Those tools are designed to help manifest your kingdom for others with. So I yield everything I know, secularly, within Christendom, within every religious system I've ever studied and mastered in understanding. And those I still look to understand, I give it all to you. Everything. My body that I try to keep in shape, my voice, my eyes, my blood, my pressure. I give you everything. I will bless you, Yahweh, O my soul, and everything that is within me. Yahweh, this day my liver blesses you. My brain matter blesses you. My marrow in my bones bless you. My literal red blood cells and white blood cells, I command them to bless you. My iris, I command it to bless you. My spleen, I command it to bless you. My kidneys, I command them to bless you. Father, everything in me, my sinew, every organ, I command it to bless you. Every hair follicle, every nail, every little bit of cartilage, I command it to bless the name of Yahweh our Elohim. El Elohe Israel. You are Elohim, creator of heaven and earth and all that therein dwells. I bless your name. Baruch Elohim. Baruch Haba. Baruch Hashem Elohim. I bless your name. I baruch you. According to your words of Bereshit, chapter number 2. I bless you. I bow down in this day. I abase myself. I debase myself beneath anything I know to sit at your feet and hear your words. Fill me, please. Shut down my problem-solving skill set you gave me and then rewire it to use it for your kingdom and your people and my life. I just want to live and be saved. I don't want likes. I don't need popularity. I need salvation. And this day helps to ensure I understand your plan of salvation and all of its caveats. I don't want a one-dimensional faith. I need a faith that looks in so many dimensions that we see you in everything. I bless you, Elohim. I thank you. I lay prostrate before you. I lay on your bench like an automobile coming into a shop for repairs. I lay my body down before you. Work on me. Shine your light that gives you microscopic insight to me on every area of my life. Man looks on the outer appearance, but you look in the inward. You look in our hearts. Father, shine your light of your word on me and find in me anything not like you and take it out. I give you permission. I give you permission. You're not going to take it unless I give it to you. So I need you to know, like David says, Yahweh, you are my shepherd. I give you permission. Come into my life today by virtue of your word. Cleanse me. Reset me. And those of us in this lifestyle, we ask you to renew us, to refresh us, to rehydrate us, to re-strengthen us, reform us, transform us, rekindle the fire of you in us instead of the fire of our mission and our vision statements. Nothing wrong with gathering at church, but help us to realize that we are the church you asked for, you made for your dwelling place. Dwell in me today. I want your word. I'm going to give it. We're going to read it. We're going to look at it. We're going to drink it. We're going to dissect it. We're going to get into it. Let your word dwell in me. Whatever you show me, I will see. Whatever you tell us, we will hear. Whatever you touch us with, we will feel. We surrender to you. Our intellect, our soul, our heart, our body, and mind. Redundantly, we tell you we surrender. I surrender. I surrender all. I have screwed up so many times, Yahweh, I don't even know what to do other than fall at your feet, not only for mercy, but for grace. Not only for grace, but assurance of salvation. We thank you for your mercy. We thank you for your loving kindness and your tender mercies. In spite of our blatant disregard and disobedience of you and your word and our efforts to make our own religion, making it supposedly to please you. We repent for that. Take over our lives. Take mine over. And whatever you show us in this study, we're going to learn. I ask you to be the eyes. I ask you as my mouth and our hearts open your word. Speak to us. Teach us. Show us. In a way that we can't explain it, but we know it's you. And I curse any and every spirit not like you, because this is your day. This is the day, Yahweh, you made for humanity. It is your will that we concede to being re-strengthened, i.e. rejoicing, and by that rejoicing, we become glad because we have new strength in you. Place your super on our natural, please. We lay here in your shop. We lay here on your laboratory table. We lay here on your operating table. Mend us. Rewire us. Reset us to the original manufacturer's instructions. You are the architect of me. You engineered me. You made me. I didn't make myself. I didn't make my own destiny. And I don't walk in it all the time. So I need you to help me to see the path of destiny you chose for me amidst all the convolutedness of the world I must contend with. I want your word, like David, to be a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my pathway. That's why I come in on this Shabbat, to read it and it alone. Adonai, we bow in reverence of you. Yahweh, your plans, we want to know. Ruach HaKodesh, remind us of all things, please. Remind us of everything of the word we'd heard and didn't know how to store it, like a body don't know how to store certain things and just puts it in fat cells. We're asking you to remind us of everything your word has ever meant for us to know. Slowly, of course, but we give you permission to remind us of your word. And we surrender now in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach. Come on, everybody. If you believe that, understand that. Come on, everybody. Just say Amen. Amen. Moderators, please send microphones down to the audience for those who'd like to stay.
Amen. Will you make us mods, please?
Oh, my bad. Father, we do love and adore you. I just sense his strength right now. I just love it. I enjoy him so much. Saints, I'm going to be sending you guys down. Hey, Tomei, I was just thinking about you this week. I talked about you, missed you. Glad to see you. We're sending invitations to all those of you that are there. Oh, Yahweh be praised. Shalom, Vietnam. Mom, I'm praying for you. Yahweh Rapha is your healer. He is whole.
Shabbat Shalom, Hashem.
Shabbat Shalom, beloved. Good to hear your voice. Yahweh.
Thank you for praying for us.
Always. That's never going to stop. No matter what. Well, Zion, it's another beautiful day that Yahweh has made. Can we talk about something very key and basic that we don't really pay attention to, but we think we do because we think we saved? Let's go to this basics of the writ. Let's get into the word. Let's get into the word. Somebody just say, I'm going to get into his word, not my words in my head. I want to get into his words.
I'm going to get into his words, not my words in my head.
Yeah, not my words in my head. Let's go right into Bereshit chapter number 2. I want to make sure we get this. And I love to scan through this very quickly so we can really set order, because I don't think we realize the importance of redundancy. I'm going to skim through chapter 1 of Bereshit, Genesis chapter 1. Bereshit is Genesis, for y'all that don't know. That's just the Hebrew for Genesis. Bereshit's Genesis chapter 1. And then our focus is going to be Genesis, Bereshit chapter 2, verses 1 through 3. And if we can get anything that could give us in Clubhouse, we could just pin the how to Shabbat. I want us to get it. Genesis chapter 2, verses 1 through 3, but we're going to skim through verses 1, chapter 1, 1 through 3. Chapter 1 through verse chapter 2. We're going to skim right through it. All right. Verse number 1. Yahweh, take my voice and use it for your glory. In the beginning, Elohim created. In the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without form. It was void. And darkness was upon the face of the deep. Now, this word, the deep, is the word in the Hebrew, H8415. It is the word Tehom. Okay. It is abyss. It means abyss. It means something that is both sea. It is subterranean. It is a deep place. It has depth. And it's important to understand that, because when you see it in context, it hits different when you read it. So he tells us in Bereshit chapter 1, verse 2, he says, and the Bible is up on screen. And for those of you on Clubhouse, if you don't have your Bibles open, and you should, because you're in Shabbat, it will be up, and I will be using the concordance, so you can actually come on and tap in if you'd like to, on the visuals on the YouTube and the Facebook channel. So he says in verse 2, the earth was without form, and it was void. Darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the spirit of Elohim moved upon the face of the waters. Elohim said, let there be light, and there was light. Elohim saw the light, it was good, and he divided the light from the darkness. Elohim called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. Verse 6, Elohim then said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. So you and I are breathing water. Did y'all know you were 75% water, basically?
Yes.
Most don't. Most don't know that. Did y'all know that you were breathing some component, oxygen? You're breathing inside of water. Let me repeat that so you can get it, so you don't think I just made that up. Verse 6, Elohim said, let the firmament, which is in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. So the waters have us enveloped. Verse 7, Elohim made the firmament, and then he divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. So let's look at the word firmament. Firmament is a Hebrew word, H7549. It is the word rachia, pardon me. And it is the expanse. It is an arcing. We call it the sky, but it is firmament. And what Yahweh does in this is he gives us this expanse. He expands it. You have your H2O, water, and then you have your O. So H2, if you really pay attention to it, really puts the O in between. I know we did it H2, like 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen, but at the end of the day, it's H2O. So this sort of if you pay attention to H2O and you really pay attention to what Yahweh did, he's like, I am that I am. So it's like, I am to that, like H2O, like I am to that. No, didn't make sense. I'll try it again. So when you think of the H2O, you have the hydrogen twice, and then you have O. We are literally inside of or water.
Wow.
He just made room for us. When we talk about Elohim, can we learn something tonight?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
When we talk about he will make a way out of no way, the earth was void, it was without form. Water covered the face of the deep. Ruach HaKodesh covered the face of the deep. Water covered the entire Adoma. It basically was dirt pickled. And then Yahweh said, humanity will dwell in between it. So expand and give space. And yet it kept an envelopment. We are still enveloped in water. He just made an expanse. He just made a firmament in the middle of the waters, but we're still in the waters. You are 75% water. The earth still to this day, representing the power of water, only 25% of the earth shows, 75% of it is still underwater. That's how our lives are supposed to be in Elohim. We are supposed to be 75% in his word and 25% in the world.
Wow. That's deep.
All right. Let's get back to the word. Let's keep the Torah going. Verse 6 says, Elohim said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters. Y'all do see that, right?
Amen. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. He said, let it divide the waters from the waters. He didn't say let it divide the waters from the earth. He said, let the waters divide so the earth can show. So your atmosphere, your stratosphere, and that gravitational pull around the earth and all that the astronauts have to break through when they come into the atmosphere or leave our atmosphere is basically a composite of Elohim, which consists of water. The waters that he separated from the waters that were on the earth and made an expanse in between the waters. Verse 6 says, Elohim said, let the firmament in the midst of the waters and let it be divided and let it divide the waters from the waters. Elohim then made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. Verse 8, Elohim then called the firmament heaven. Now, we think it's the heaven he lives in, but no, it is a sense of heaven. It is the sky, as we like to talk about it. It is where we have this loft, this thing that is a loft, okay? This visible arcing in which clouds, usually precipitous, move and revolve around. So verse 8 says, Elohim called the firmament heaven, and then the evening and the morning were the second day. Verse 9, Elohim said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place. And now I want the dry land to appear. Do y'all realize that when he separated the waters, the dirt was not seen? Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
We
didn't realize that. Never really thought about it. I didn't realize that.
We may not like the science lesson, but science always vets Elohim. That's why some of the greatest scientists who went after, saying Elohim, God didn't exist, and creators of even Darwin himself. I dare say that Yahweh, I repent for saying his thing, but I believe Darwin got saved in the end. Darwin didn't push Darwinism. Someone got his memoirs later, and they pushed Darwinism. Darwin recanted because he was trying to prove Elohim didn't exist. But everything he found out on all those islands he went on, he realized that this was not just some amoeba in water. This was not just some evolution. I could make a case and do a trade and trace it back, but it still starts somewhere. It didn't just big bang, poof, do it. And the bang, if there was a big bang, the big bang came from some directive, which means that there is a supreme mind behind everything that we have and we are. And that's where John 1:1 comes in. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with Elohim, and the Word was Elohim. And there is nothing that you and I see, be it the Milky Way, be it Venus, be it the stars of the galaxy, be it Earth, its stratosphere and atmosphere, the heavens, the firmaments, the seas, your flesh, whatever we are, that the Word did not make. And you have that twice in the writ. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, you just read it. In the beginning, Elohim created. Well, in Elohim is his word. That very word is what he wants you and I to coddle up next to every Sabbath. That very word that created all this that you're reading about in chapter 1, he wants you to coddle up next to it for 24 hours in a 7-day work week that he gave you, so you would know him better, so that you could actually have a relationship with him. It is wonderful to proclaim him. It is wonderful to dress in him in different types of colors and codes. But what Yahweh wants is you to know his word, so you know him. That's why he says, be still and know I am. Can y'all say that to yourselves? Can you say, be still, whoever you are, and know that I am is Elohim? Can y'all say that? Be still, VW, and know that I am is Elohim.
Is Elohim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sometimes, hey, look, y'all, I know y'all don't like to have that. It seems so elementary and so childish, but except we become like a little child, we shall know why I see the kingdom of heaven. David would always have to confess to himself what he knew about Elohim. Thus, if you look at his writings, he says, Yahweh, you are my shepherd. He's always confessing something. Your word is a lamp unto my feet. So that's why when we do this, we make our bodies, because your body, your mind, your actions are all going to be predicated on the words you speak. You live in a voice-activated kingdom. And until you tell yourself Yahweh is your shepherd, Yahweh won't be your shepherd. You'll be your own shepherd. You might think about Yahweh, but Yahweh may not be in control. Because you can control how you think about Yahweh. All right.
That's some deep.
It is deep
stuff. Amen.
And so in verse 9, Elohim said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together under one place. Look at the commandment. Let the waters under the heaven be gathered unto one place, so that the dry land can be seen. That's why when Yahweh in the days of Noah brought the waters, they didn't know what rain was, right? In Noah's day. And so what would happen was when the promise of rain came, when Yahweh promised rain, and 120 years later he promised it, 121 years, 20 years later he delivered it. The water that we now see that's been separated from the waters that are under the firmament, the waters above the firmament basically collapsed and sprinkled through the firmament and reflooded the earth to the condition it was in verse 2. Verse 1. That's an extremely important thing to think about. If you really pay attention to the story of Noah, the Bible says that to the highest mountain, And y'all know we've had some we got some mountains. There have been changes in mountains. Some mountains have crumbled. Some mountains have succumbed to the sea. There are big mountains in the waters, y'all. There are big caverns and digs and holes inside of this Eretz, this Adoma that's underwater. There is life down there, guys, that we have no clue about. I promise you we don't. But the point is, the reveal of this is that Mount Everest, being the highest mountain on the planet, it was 36 cubits underwater. "36 cubit is basically 3 feet per cubit. It's like what's a cubit? Hold on, let me get it. Let me get it right. Let me give the measurement right. Yahweh, thank you for correcting me. All right, a cubit is a measurement. I think a cubit is 18 inches. I said 3 foot. Cubit is like 18 inches, almost 20 inches. So 36 feet is enough. Add another 6 inches per foot, and that's how far. So we're 36. So you divide that in half, basically. Add a third. That's the tip of Everest. That's how far underwater you could deep sea dive before you hit the top of Mount Everest. Is this too much science on Sabbath? I'm sorry.
No, that's good. Interesting. This is good. It's all about creation, Apostle.
It is, and creation is science. And the problem is we think that we create. We don't create. We only discover what has been created, and we are way behind on discovering all that's been created. We are just now discovering 5G rays. Did y'all know when Yahweh put this stuff into effect and they were talking about we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but principality and powers and rulers of darkness of this world and spiritual wickedness in high places? They were talking about the rays and the waves and the communicating line. Did y'all know you have signals that have been shooting all over and like a web? That's why it's called the World Wide Web. It's like a web that has the earth in some, with a sense of torque, that it keeps the world with the electricity shooting off of waves, 4G, 5G, 3G, gamma rays, radioactive waves. We're just uncovering this stuff. It's always been there. What blew my mind long ago, when I first started understanding the need and value of this, was the ozone layer. The ozone layer is depleting. It's not a matter of if it'll deplete, it's a matter of now when it will deplete. Which the ozone layer, once it depletes, will bring what Peter talked about really into fruition. The earth will burn with a fervent heat. Well, the ozone layer is the layer around the firmament that protects the earth from the rays of the sun. And there are multiple types of rays that come from the sun. And these rays give some of you and I, people who have, sinew, skin lesions and cancers and what have you because of the radiation. And yet you still have good rays, which give you vitamin D. So there's both good and bad that come from the sun. But the ozone layer protects us from the most damaging elements of the sun, because though it's all good, you can still get a lot of good and it be bad for you. But the ozone layer protects you from that. And if the ozone layer is not there, the earth basically would just burn up. It'd be like we did in school, take a magnifying glass and get a ray of the sun and then let it torch a piece of paper. Or in my case, I used to torch ants. We were children. We were voyeuristic. We did stuff. And crickets, we just burn them up with it, and we just see how intense that was. We put it on our hand and see how hot it was on our hand. We put it on our shoe, and anywhere we can get a signal, whatever we can get to burn, we put in, and so we use a magnify. And so if you realize the power coming through a glass at the earth's level and surface level nearest you, if that ozone layer is not there, that ozone layer consists of water as well, mist, vapor as well. And now we have punctured it internally, and now it's going to deplete. And that brings us into this element of eschatology. Peter says this earth will burn away with a fervent heat, and it will. And if the ozone layer is not here, that's what's going to happen. And we think we can save it. We think we can repair it, but we still have too many aerosols and our own toxic disposal systems, and all our jet fuel and fossil fuels we're burning off and puncturing in and out of the atmosphere. Now you got people like Elon Musk wanting to go and live on the moon. And I'm so saddened to hear about the submersible and the tragedy of that this week. But, Yahweh did not intend us to live under the water. And he did not intend us to live over the water. He intended us to live between the water he separated. Yahweh did not intend for us to go hang out down at the Titanic or 7 miles down with whatever is down there. And I do mean whatever is down there. They're still finding new creatures that are swimming around down there that will not come up to this, warmer waters and come out of those caverns down there. They're finding stuff. Look, man, listen here. And now you want to go live on top of the water because you want to go to the moon? Yahweh didn't intend us to go there. He said we're on this earth. He separated the waters. Can you realize that he's protecting us from whatever else is out there? That water plays a protective shield around the earth and our atmosphere we breathe within. And yet we still, though we have this information, still try to debunk and make a myth of Elohim's true existence. And all he wants us to do is be still and know him. Read his word, read it slow, understand what he said, and know that he is Elohim. I don't care what scientists come up with, what new invention Yahweh gave it him. He even says in his word, he gives us witty inventions. He's the one that does it. And we think we create something. I'm not interested in seeing what else is out there in the galaxy. I know we are just nosy by nature as humans because we got this bug called the knowledge of good and evil. Now we just seek knowledge, right? But we're not seeking knowledge Elohim's way. And so I don't need to know what's out there. He put me here. I'm standing in the earth. I got enough to do here. I don't know all the caverns and the volcanoes and the tectonic plates of this earth. I don't need to be out there in some other galaxy acting like I'm deep out there and I know nothing about any creatures that might be out there. I don't know. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in trying to connect with ET. It's not my desire. ET out there, let ET live where he live. He good. He Gucci. If Yahweh didn't introduce him to me when I was born, I don't want to meet him now. Sorry. I'm just putting that out there. ET or his cousins, That was supposed to be humorous, but I see y'all haven't had y'all coffee yet. So
it is funny.
When we look at what the writ says, he gives us a real makeup and a breakdown for what he's done. So let's go back here and look at Genesis chapter 1, verse number 9. Okay. And I'm taking it slow here because we've not gotten to chapter 2 yet, which is where we want to be. But you gotta read this. Look at what he did. Verse 8. Elohim called the firmament heaven, in the evening and the morning were the second day. Verse 9. Elohim then said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered under one place. So that's how you got seas, oceans, lakes. They withdrew and puddled up so that the dirt could be exposed. And here's the powerful part, y'all. When they withdrew, they only revealed 25% of the dirt. The rest of the earth is technically, on an average, 75% submerged. You see, we are 75% underwater as a rock. The third rock from the sun is 75% underwater. Only 25% of the dirt shows. And even though you look in the mirror, you are a type of the earth. You are made in the same type of a scenario and percentages. You're scaled out, you're scaled down to just what the earth is. With 25% dirt and 75% water. And yet we fail to drink water and wonder why we're sick. We won't drink our water and wonder why sickle cell is causing crisis and trait and disease is causing issues, because we won't hydrate our bodies to keep our cells from coagulating. We won't drink water to keep our blood pressure down. We won't keep water to keep our skin hydrated. We won't drink water to keep our eyes in the condition they need, helping our marrow to make our blood wash, helping with our liver to get clean and our kidneys to pass through. And water, you are 75% water. That's why when you get in water, you lose your mind. That's why when you get around a beach and you sit on the sands, that beach just calms you. You get in that water, you can just sit there and rock and ebb and flow all day. But we're so busy trying to be human, we forgot to be Elohim's creation. Make that a quote.
You're speaking truth, Apostle. Good.
And that's what Shabbat does. Shabbat helps you remember you're his creation. You are his creation. There's no getting around that. He created you. You didn't create yourself. I'm a self-made man. You lied. Now I know what you mean. But if you think that, if you feel so entitled that you could say that in your entitlement, you remove Elohim and your understanding of him, and therefore you so busy, you're not sitting still and knowing he is your creator. Let's keep reading the writ. Are we okay reading the writ? Can we continue on?
Yes, sir.
Please make sure we're sending microphones down to everybody in the space so they can have microphones to come up with us, please. And I hope that you all will take the microphones. This is Sabbath. I'm not here just to teach. We're all here to study together. I can't serve y'all today. So verse 9 says, and Elohim said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together. Have y'all, I want to stop. I want to ask this question. Have y'all really thought about that before today? That he literally pulled the water apart to reveal the earth?
Not like that. No, didn't see
I
it.
did not.
Never saw that.
Jackie,
Go, Minister Jackie.
I think again, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, beloved.
It's just us not really understanding what's actually happened in creation, and again, taking things for granted and not stepping back and appreciating how creation came into being for us. And I loved what you've just said, that whole reflection about he's created a place for us to be, an earth with everything in it. is provided for us in every aspect, and yet we still desire more without really appreciating what we have here and now. Thank you, Apostle.
Yeah, no, it's true, because we can't appreciate what we have because we're going after something we have concocted in our mind we need. We can't appreciate what we have because we have a preconceived idea concocted by us or whatever else we fell into alignment and into agreement with and into cahoots with that we think we need. I didn't know until I was living in my car that all the things when I grew up in the neighborhood and where I lived that I thought you needed to be something in the earth and to live. And I didn't realize until I didn't have anything, and I'm living in one of my possessions, and I didn't realize I didn't need to have all seven, all seven courses of my meal. I didn't have to eat and gorge. I could have survived and been more healthier on much less and been just as strong, but we were trained to be gluttonous. And it wasn't until I didn't need what I was cultured into. I didn't need as much. Until I realized that our bodies work on far less, more efficiently. And whatever we have extra, it stores because of a way creation was. And if you don't understand that when Elohim created us, he made it so that our bodies recognized certain types of things we eat. Like right now, the reason most of us have this visceral fat, it's because we're eating things the body doesn't recognize as designed by Elohim to be consumed. And so the body has this natural thing where it says, okay, we'll use this energy, we'll just make it fat. But the body was designed for seed time and harvest.
Amen.
And
Amen.
The body was designed that the fat that was the unidentifiable nutrient and component you ate, to then use that to give you energy and what you would need later to get you through when you were without, and you'd burn that and get back to a lean you until you started getting a protein you and a proper non-complicated carb you together, because we can put stuff together and make complicated carbs, and we can make processed meats, but those things will be stored as fats. You need the you need the non-complex carbs. You need the protein that make your body lean. And I didn't realize we have made ourselves need what we don't need. And then when we don't get that, we act like God hasn't provided.
Wow.
My goodness.
Do y'all get that? Maybe some of y'all got bored with my lead-in to the point. The punchline is we have made ourselves need something that we don't need to survive. It wasn't until I was without and again homeless that I realized I didn't need half of what I needed. I was better off eating tuna out of a can, chicken out of a can, sardines. I like mine in mustard, and I made it through. And then went right back to the false needs because of the cultural conditioning and made that my needs again. And the truth is, to survive and to live, I didn't need all of that. But man, if we don't have it, we think we're poor. It's so quiet.
Just thinking of possible. Yes, a lot to think about.
So here too again. I just want us to really. This is why Sabbath is so important. You got 24 hours just to read His writ. And some of y'all have been with me, and all we've really read, let me put these on the board so y'all can see them. Some of y'all, all we've ever really read in Shabbat have been Genesis, these passages on the board: Genesis 2, 1 through 3, Exodus 16, Exodus 20, Isaiah 58, Mark 2, Luke 6, Hebrews 4. And we have a hard time getting out of those passages because the revelation comes from the word. You don't need, as Paul says, these elaborate words of man's wisdom to make Elohim's revelations effective. So reading the writ slow, understanding exactly what Yahweh did, really starts to put things in perspective in your life, and then begins to run parallels as well. So verse 9, Elohim said, let the waters under the heavens be gathered together. I still don't think people get that. There was so much water on this rock that he took half the water and put it up in the heaven, dispersed it out in a diameter and a parameter and a perimeter that was grander than it where it was. He just he what do you call it? He scaled it out. He pushed it out and made an expanse in between the water. That there is half of the earth's water still sitting above our head right now, y'all.
So awesome.
That's amazing.
I mean, really think about it. Look at what he says. Elohim, because nothing's changed. The earth cannot change from the way he did this and constructed this. Elohim called the firmament heaven, verse 9. He said, let the waters under the firmament be gathered together unto one place so that the dry ground can appear. And then Elohim called the dry land earth. And then the gathering together of the waters, he called seas, as well as oceans and rivers and deltas, yada, yada. The other half of the water is still up in the air. Your humidity, it helps electricity flow. It helps these rays and these other things that are floating around, causing electricity, gamma rays, internet, the highway. Listen, y'all, there has been an internet since Genesis chapter number 1, verse 1.
Really?
Think about it. When he pulled the firmament, when he pulled the waters from the waters and put a firmament in between, what do you think we just can't see it? What do you think the infrastructure is holding that? What is that expanse? How is that expanse holding back that water? There is a web, there is a system running in the earth, around the earth. Y'all call it vibing, and I see in my, you're seeing in planes and dimensions because there's been that internet has existed. We just didn't have the components of science. When they found out that they could carry sound from one continent to another continent on a wave, and they figured this stuff out, messing around with light years and times and speeds, we're just discovering what Yahweh already made. And people taking
That's very true.
People taking credit for it. Now, when we start to do this, we stop giving so much credit. Not that man doesn't deserve credit for the discovery, but we need to make sure we understand ain't nothing new under the sun.
That's true.
They can come out with G10, telephone service. It ain't new. It's been there. Matter of fact, Yahweh left it there for us.
Hallelujah.
Y'all don't believe me on that? Let me show you. Let me show you that Yahweh left it there for us. You'll hear me use this passage as a protection, and you'll hear me use this as a promotion. Deuteronomy 29:29. Y'all there? I'm going to put it on the screen so y'all can see it. Remember, whatever you and I discover, Yahweh put it there for us to discover. We did not make it. We discovered it. Look. Deuteronomy 29:29. It's on the board. The secret things belong unto Yahweh our Elohim, but those things which are revealed, discovered, uncovered, found out through anthropology or archaeology or what am I trying to say? Astrology, astronomy. All that energy is already in the infrastructure of the world that we live in. We basically live under a canopy. The secret things belong unto Yahweh or Elohim, but those things which are revealed, those things that are uncovered, look at the word revealed, H1540. Those things that are revealed, now advertised, those things that end up appearing, they are disclosed, they are opened, they are published. Those things that are published belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do what? What? That we may do all the words of his law. So the internet is there for us to do the will of the Father. The gamma rays are there for us to do the will of the Father. I'm gonna read it again. I don't think y'all heard me. Don't listen to me. Please listen to the word. Devarim 29:29, Deuteronomy 29:29. I got it on the screen. So those of you have no excuse not to see this. For those of you who have your own Bibles where you are, listen to what it says. The secret things belong unto Yahweh our Elohim, but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of his law. Did y'all know this verse existed? Everything that you uncover is supposed to be used for Elohim's glory. Nuclear is supposed to be for Elohim's glory. X-rays. I don't know all the different scientific things. I'm not that guy. I can get deep if I want to, but my thing is to make sure we understand where it comes from. All that we have revealed unto us, the things we're learning in the specialties of the doctors, and the things we're learning in the specialties of science and computers, AI, ChatGPT, whatever, all of this stuff that is revealed uncovered by humanity is so we can do our job here in the earth and glorify our Father. But are we initially trying to glorify the Father with it, or are we trying to make money with it and get it patented so we can be the ones that are going down in history for discovering it? Y'all all right with this kind of Sabbath talk?
Amen. Yes, it's good. Absolutely.
Verse 29 again, the secret things belong to Yahweh our Elohim. But those things which are revealed, they belong to us and our children forever, that we may be able to do the words of his Torah. All right. I think we've talked enough about that. Let's go to Bereshit chapter 1. We're still in Bereshit 1, Genesis 1. Verse 9, Elohim said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. Elohim then called the dry land earth. The gathering together of the waters he called seas, and Elohim saw that it was good. And Elohim said, let the earth bring forth grass, and herb yielding seed, and fruit yielding fruit trees yielding fruit after its kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And so it is. And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after its kind, tree yielding fruit whose seed was in itself after its kind. Elohim saw it was good. And the evening and the morning with the third day. Verse 14. And Elohim said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from night. Let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. Did y'all know you saw your real first area of a conductor when you see the sun and moon work together?
No, I did not.
But you get it now, don't you? Just a simple pointing to it. You like, oh snap, right? It is, because the moon doesn't have light of its own. The moon is just reflecting the sun because it's so high up, and the sun and it's reflecting, and then that moon reflecting the light of the sun on the other side of our globe at that time through the rotation is now lighting dimly the other side of the earth. That's a conduit for light. The moon is a light bearer. The sun is the light. So there's got to be a system in place that was before. If you look at what man has done, showing you guys all these grids that they're uncovering through sound and sonar and radar, you're seeing them tell you about these grids that interlock and go around, and they're tightly wound, and they're going around and around and around. They're all around the earth, and they can put a signal on one and send it someplace. And you and I can be in our right now. My computer is sending ones and O's. Phones, they're sending ones and O's, and somehow they're producing 3D, 2D, 1D animation and expression or sound. In the beginning, Elohim created everything that we use on this earth, and everything we've yet to discover on this earth. He did it way back when.
Amen.
Okay, let's keep reading the word, Apostle. Sir, that's all nice, but can you get back to the Bible, please? Yes, we will. Elohim said, let the lights of the firmament of heaven to divide the day from night. Verse 14, Genesis 1:14. And let them be for signs. Let them be for seasons. And let them be for days and for years. So let me help y'all that don't understand this honeymoon thing y'all keep hearing me talk about from time to time, and you'll hear me go off on tangents. You don't have your own season. You got seasons that have been preset in Genesis 1. Elohim said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven so that they can divide day from night, and let them be for signs and for seasons. There is not one season of Elohim that we have that does not come from a full moon in a particular direct hit and lowered in a particular proximity to the earth that gives us a full moon or a honeymoon. And each of these full moons trigger times and seasons. Your farmer's almanac is based in part on what we call the lunar calendar. Now, because people got goofy with it, we call it the lunatic, the loony calendar, because some people just goofy with it. But it does have real value and real virtue because it's really tapped out of Yahweh's Torah calendar. And when that moon does what it does, when that moon rises, you have a low tide. When that moon lowers and comes into a different contact with the earth, different distance from the earth, it causes water to rise to it. At the very base of that, you're talking about magnetic pull. That's just being base. But we don't pay attention to it. But Yahweh made it very clear. Let them be for signs, verse 14, and let them be for seasons. And let them be for days. And let them be for years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven, so that they can give light upon the earth. And it was so. Verse 16 says, and Elohim then made two lights, two great lights, the greater light to rule by day and the lesser light to rule by night. And he made the stars also. So if the lights were put into the sky for times and seasons and days and years, who told you you had a season outside of what the lights tell you? Okay. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm just saying we got to read. Verse 16. Elohim made the two great lights, and then he made stars. Verse 17. Elohim set those lights, the two, in the firmament of the heaven to give light on the earth, and to rule over the day and to rule over the night, and to divide the light from darkness. Elohim saw that it was good. The evening and the morning were the fourth day. Look what Yahweh has done. Look at verse 20. Elohim said, let the waters bring forth abundantly. Y'all ready for some mathematical cross-referencing here? And it won't be anywhere near accurate. Matter of fact, it'll be so deprived, the number I want to give you, so deprived. But I want y'all to follow this. Look at verse 20. Are y'all there? And Elohim said, let the waters, the waters. You know the waters that he separated. So basically, the birds are swimming in the sky.
That's amazing.
Oh my goodness.
There you go. Elohim said, let the waters bring forth abundantly, verse 20, the moving creature that has life, and the fowl, which is the bird, that they may fly above the earth in the open firmament of the heavens. So again, you've always heard me say, because verse 20 is day 5, that Elohim made the birds from the water. And he did. I don't care if it's a dodo bird, a pigeon, an ostrich, eagle, hummingbird, mockingbird, blue jay, robin, cardinal, raven, eagle. I don't care what it is. It was made on day 5, the day with water, the day of water. And then Yahweh told all the birds, y'all don't go back to your natural habitat. I want y'all to go live in the dirt. I don't care how many times I teach this.
It's so deep.
It still affects me differently. And then he comes back and tells us later in your prayer, you say you got need, right? Somebody say I got need. Somebody say I got need.
I got needs. I got needs.
Yeah, I got needs. And you know that's a good thing, because Yahweh really works in our expectation of his ability to solve and handle and supply our need, right? But listen, when Messiah was on the earth, he says, y'all got needs? Okay. Consider the birds. That was the most powerful message many people had heard, and Christian never got it. You got needs.
Wow, never considered it.
You got needs. You need clothes. You need housing. You need shoes. You need food. You need beverage. Consider the birds. At least you're still in the habitat you were made in. The birds were asked to relocate. Do they not eat? Are you not getting, flying excrement? Are they not full? Their guts not full? Are they not bombing your cars every time you wash them? Are they not getting in your hair from time to time? Are they not on your ledge? You got those pellets on your ledge and all on your walls and sides of your house and the brick buildings. They're eating quite well. These birds is eating good. He said, consider the birds. They don't sow and they do not harvest, but every one of them Yahweh feeds. That's what he's trying to tell us. When you and I obey him in his word, and if he tells us to move, and I curse the spirit of, see, God told me to do this, and God, be quiet. We ain't talking to you. I don't know who telling you what, but this is how Yahweh works. Consider the birds. They don't sow, they don't reap into harvest, they don't harvest into barns. And the Father feeds every one of them. So if he tells you to relocate, like he told the birds, you're going to be fine. Problem is, you have a preconceived ideal of what you need. And Yahweh's like, you don't need all you need when you're with me, obeying my word. Or your understanding of ministry and living a life of propagating the gospel, you need far more than what you think you need and have. This is not that. And this is what Yahweh is trying to get through us through Yeshua. It's like, listen, guys, you like, when you pray to the Father. The Father already, somebody say Yahweh already knows what I got need of. Say Elohim already knows what I got need of. Say it.
Elohim already knows what I have need of.
Now say this. Say self-consider the fowl of the air.
Self-consider the fowl of the air.
Literally, consider the fowl of the air. They don't work like you work. They don't have. Do you know that the birds and the sharks in the waters on day 5 and the fish, they do not have a work 6 days, rest 7-day policy? Only the human does. So, Mr. Human, Mrs. Human, if you obey my instructions like the bird did, you'll be fine. Work 6 days, rest on 7. I got you. And that's what he wants us to understand. Consider the birds of the air. Consider the fowl of the air. They don't plant. They don't sow. They don't harvest. You worried about Yahweh providing for you? The problem is, are you migrating in the earth like he has the birds migrating in the earth? Are you paying attention to what he's saying to do? Because if you are, where you go, provision will be there. There was a phrase I learned from one of my big sisters in the faith. She was actually my apostle's daughter. She's pastor and psychologist, Dr. Carol Malone. And she turned me on to this years ago. She got it from somewhere, but I don't know where she got it from, so I'm giving it to her. I could Google it, I'm sure, but she would always say, Brother Minister, the finger of Elohim, the finger of Elohim. She would say God because she didn't say Elohim. She would say the finger of Elohim will never point you where the hand of Elohim cannot support you. Oh, how I love that phrase.
Amen.
Consider the fowl of the air. Yahweh told it, don't go back to the water. Go and live on the dirt, in the trees. And it's fed. It's cared for. Listen, the birds don't even have homes. Humans made birdhouses. Birds made nests. But their feathering system is so immaculate, it's engineered from water concepts. A bird can sit out in a monsoon rainstorm and never have its interior wet because the way the feathers layer, the rain, though heavy, the cold, though real, hits them and rolls down their feathering system and never touches the fleshy part of their skin. They can weather a storm.
Wow.
No, nobody takes that. Do y'all get? He taught. One of the greatest messages he ever taught was, consider the bird. You got needs? Consider the birds. What was he telling y'all? Consider the lilies. All they do is obey. Lily, sit right there. Lilies ain't trying to get up and go in the apple orchards. Lilies ain't trying to get up and go in the peach trees. Lilies ain't trying to get up and run to the cotton fields. Lilies ain't digging underground, these underground caverns and tunnels to come up in the watermelon patch. Lilies don't toil, they don't spin, yet they are more beautiful than Solomon in all of his array. Because Yahweh designed them and gave them purpose. And they do it. The only thing that doesn't is humanity. And that's a huge problem. I mean, like a huge problem. Let's get back to the writ. Because we don't listen to what Elohim wants us to do. He tells us to sow. We like, no. He tells us to give him time. I got stuff to do. The birds, look at day 5, verse 20. Look at Genesis 5:20. Can we have some fun with this? Y'all mind if I get humorous with this? Because I feel a funny streak coming on.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Genesis 5:20. Let me back that up because I'll be hyping y'all up. I want y'all thinking I'm trying to be funny. Verse number 20. And Elohim said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creatures that have life, and let the fowl fly above the earth in the open firmament of the heaven. So verse 20 says that Yahweh made the creatures that were in the earth abundantly. And then he told one of them, you go fly in the earth. You don't come out of the you're not going back into the water. But look at the beginning of verse 20. Look at the beginning of verse 20, Genesis 1:20. Look at the beginning of Genesis 1:20. Look at it. He says, let the waters bring forth abundantly. Do y'all know how many shrimp? Some of y'all know. Yeah, y'all do. How many shrimp? How many oysters? How many fish, bass, crabs, snails, well, not snails, pardon me. I meant oysters and clams and mussels. Sorry, that's what I meant. That are in the waters. The way y'all eating these seafood boils, there shouldn't be nothing left in the waters at all.
So true. Oh my.
Yeah, there shouldn't be nothing left in the water. We should be sitting there waiting, and we back ordered on shrimp. You know what I mean? Okay, we wait for the next batch to come out. You know, I'm just speaking because that's what generally the world is doing, right? And you know, there's a commandment against eating shellfish, but right, here's the catch. These commandments were placed in the beginning. Elohim said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creatures that have life. You can't stop the ocean from producing the creatures in it that we eat rightly and unrightly. They will always produce in abundance. We can take as many tankers out there and scrape the bottom of the ocean as we want to, or whatever's close to the bottom that's gathering in schools, and scoop it all up. And guess what? They're still going to be producing at that level or higher, no matter what, because of this command. I'm trying to get us to see in my elongating of this passage, stretching it out, but not stretching it in context, what we miss that Yahweh did. Do y'all understand? Can I help y'all with this? Can I blow y'all mind right now? Anybody need a mind blow? Anybody need a coffee doubt? A coffee jolt?
Go for it.
Yes.
Yep. Yes.
Okay, so the fish reproduce themselves, right?
Yeah. Yes, they do.
And the crabs, they reproduce, and the starfish, they reproduce, and the clams, they reproduce, right, y'all,
Right.
right,
Yes.
right.
They do. Yes. Yes. Correct.
Now, if y'all know if I'm doing this, pay attention. So as with the verse 24, this abundance of coming forth is not predicated on whether or not it keeps reproducing itself or procreating itself, because it does it. But if, let's just say, we ever took all of the, let me just say, I'm thinking about a vessel, a water vessel, a water boat that's out there, a shrimping boat, just scraping the bottom of the sea, scraping where clams and mussels are, and you just scrape all of them up one day, and just this, all of the clams go. Well, if the clams are being eaten, cooked, burned, or oysters being eaten, cooked, burned, or the fish being eaten, cooked, and burned, because you're cooking them and eating them, and you got them all out, and there ain't another fish, another clam, another shrimp, another lobster, another oyster, nothing that can reproduce in that water. It's a wrap, ain't it, y'all?
Yes, it will be. Yeah. True.
But yeah. But do y'all know Yahweh didn't say in verse 20 like he said in verse 24, and it blew my mind, because the other ones with the earth, he said he's going to give you trees that bear fruit, and the fruit will have the seed of the tree in the fruit. He didn't say that in the water. He just said, let the water bring forth.
Man, oh man.
All right, let me try it again. Do y'all get that? No? Okay, let me try it again. So if you scraped all of the clams and the fish and the seas in that area, if you took them all up, the waters will still reproduce them. Not the clams, not the species. The waters will produce the species.
Amen.
No, still didn't hit.
I got it. Yeah, it's all powerful.
No, I'm serious. Nobody else got that?
Yes, I got it.
Look at the yeah. That don't. You know what? I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna wake up in the morning, come back and talk to y'all in the morning. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to sleep. Look at this. He said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creatures that have life. He didn't say that the creatures bring forth and reproduce themselves. He said, let the waters.
Yes, in Montgomery.
I'm still going to bed. I'm getting off this and going to sleep. That matter of fact, I got to go shave first, because that still raised my hair on my head.
You got us waiting now. You done woke us up.
I clearly not, because that right there was a mind blow. He said, let the waters bring forth abundantly. He didn't say let the shark bring forth. Elohim created the great whales and every living creature that moves in the waters, which the waters brought forth abundantly.
Oh, wow. So they're not. Hallelujah.
Do y'all see this? Do I have to? I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed.
Yes.
I'm going to bed.
Oh, we're awake now.
I'm going. You ain't nah, too late. I'm going to bed. Y'all can hang up all y'all. I'm going to bed. I'll see y'all at 10 in the morning for the next one. He didn't tell the sharks to bring forth. He didn't tell the whales to bring forth.
Wow.
He told the waters, "Oh, no, don't be modalic. Yeah, that's not what you do. Stop being literal. No. Look, Elohim said that the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that has life. Elohim created the great whale and every living creature that moves, which the waters brought forth abundantly. All right, Wanda, I think I heard you.
Oh, I was going to ask, because you said, which it does say, let the waters bring forth. But even with verse 11, when it says, let the earth bring forth the grass and the herb yielding seed and the fruit tree yielding fruit after their kind. So
read it right. Read it right. You read it too fast.
Sleepy. I'm sorry.
Oh, now you sleepy. Okay, now you sleepy. Look, Elohim said, let the earth bring forth grass.
The herb yielding seed.
Pause.
Okay. So isn't the earth doing the same
Pause. Thing? In this instance, yeah, he is saying, and let the earth bring forth grass and the herb that yields seed.
So it will continue.
I'm going to bed, y'all. All right, good night. I'm going to bed. I'll see y'all in the morning. Okay. I'm leaving y'all alone. No, I'm not talking to nobody. I'm not talking to nobody else. You know what, Father? I have done my best. I am going to bed.
Wait, but Apostle. So now it just immediately took me back to eschatology, where those trees, a portion of those trees that he allowed the earth to bring forth, are going to be destroyed.
Because the earth is going to always produce what Yahweh says to produce. You got to understand this. When Yahweh, listen, y'all, when Yahweh cursed the earth instead of cursing man, that was saying something. Man's presence would make everything that would be needed for the advancement of the garden in a barren patch to produce. Yahweh said, don't produce for him the way I've had you doing it in the past. He cursed the ground from man having that connection. And when you start talking like this is when you lose people and all of a sudden their mind starts going and all these other weird conspiracy theories. But it's the truth. He didn't curse man. He cursed the ground. He cursed where man came from. He disconnected man from that right, basically to command in need from the earth. And the earth just produced it and populated it.
So earth and water will always
produce.
Obey. Always.
As long as the earth remains, there will be seed time and harvest. This puts a whole new kick on this, y'all. Elohim, look at verse 11. Look at verse 11. And let the earth bring forth grass. Let the earth bring forth herb yielding seed. Let's put it in context. Let the earth bring forth the herb that yields the seed. Y'all think the seed produced the herb. Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Wow.
Which came first? The human or the baby?
Okay. Oh boy.
Y'all not gonna talk to me tonight? Okay, it's okay. I know y'all tired. It's all right. Y'all not gonna talk to me though?
Good. That's good, Apostle.
So which came first? Because you automatically assume Adam was a baby.
Nope.
Adam and Ishak were full grown. They were made.
Yes.
Wasn't no baby. Wasn't no first, second, or third trimesters for Adam and Ishak. They were not babies. They were made, and then they produced babies. Y'all not going to read this right. Look, verse 11, let the earth bring forth the grass. Where was the seed? Okay. Let the earth bring forth herb that yields seed, and fruit trees that yield fruit with seed. I don't know why we're not jumping on this.
That's good. That's good.
I've been late to the party. It's good.
You got to read what he says. Let the earth bring forth. So that means Yahweh don't need you to sow anything. He will give you seed to sow if you don't have seed. He gives seed to the sower. He gives bread to the eater. He don't need us to be responsible for anything other than going where he say go and do what he say do. Again, I'm not talking to these crazy people out here talking about God lead me, God give me, God lead me. I'm not talking to you. Sit down. We are talking about the fact that Elohim has the earth and the waters producing. No matter how much you consume what it produces, it's still gonna come up. You can take all the seed and burn it, and the earth will reproduce that seed, that sprout, that grass, that herb. And
Wow.
it will have seed in it. Do y'all understand? Well, I feel like I'm talking Greek.
Yes. You have to see
Hallelujah.
grass grow in areas that are burnt.
It doesn't. So when you talked about the eschatology, and many people will be like, well, what's she talking about? She's just trying to be deep. No. Listen. When Yahweh scorches 1/3 of the grass and the trees in the eschatology of the book of Revelation, when the millennial reign takes place, it will rebuild itself. Because the earth is just going to produce it. It can't stop producing it. It's been commanded to produce it since the beginning and Elohim's creation. Are y'all okay?
Oh, yes.
It's powerful.
So let's go back down here to verse 20. Elohim said, let the waters bring forth abundantly. Did he say let the shrimp bring forth abundantly? Did he say let the the Bronzini bring forth abundantly? Did he say, let the grouper bring forth abundantly? Did he say, let the yellowtail bring forth abundantly? Did he say, let the barracuda bring forth abundantly? Did he say, let Moby Dick bring forth abundantly? No, he said, let the waters bring forth whatever's creatures that's in there, and bring them, and let the waters bring them forth in abundance. These things just keep populating. You would think by now we have drained the ocean.
Yeah.
You would think by now we have drained the ocean of what it naturally produces by its species. All the net dragging and toxins we put in the water will always produce. That's why you can't have seed grow unless water is involved. And the word represents the water.
Yes.
Wow.
That part. Shadi, quick thought, Apostle.
Hold that thought. So you have to understand that there is a process that is divine, and it is not a process designed by man. That's the difference between kingdom and man's intellect called religion. Oh, that's unnecessary. You ain't got to know all that. Okay. Watch. The birds do not go back to where they're from except to play in it and eat from it. They still hunt. If you've ever seen any real good birds of prey, they will dive in that water in a minute, go down there 6 feet and come back up like they was. I always wondered, are they from the water? I think one of the things, one fish got wings. They call it the flying fish. You know. Anyway. Okay. All right. Wanda was next. Wanda, who was after you? Montgomery.
Yeah,
Montgomery. Go Montgomery.
So this might be a little bit off.
Just go.
Thinking about Noah, and when the earth was completely covered.
Okay.
And I'm thinking about how it says that he brought the animals in, but it doesn't say anything much. And I could be wrong about the fish of the sea.
Mm-hmm.
So the fish didn't need to be placed, taken because of the water. I'm just, I don't know.
You being Christian right now. That's cool. It's okay to be Christian for a minute. Listen.
Well, I'm just trying to figure.
Yeah, because everybody wants to know, how did he kill? There are several theories about that, and when we go into the storyline of Noah, how one theory was that when Elohim said he was going to kill everything on the earth, people thought it meant in the waters too, but on the earth meant the dirt. Day 6 creation.
Oh, okay.
Got it. And that went for birds too. But because birds are now breathing air, they're not breathing water. But, you know, you can have such a tectonic shift and a cataclysmic issue such as that flooding and the shaking of the earth underneath. There had to be some movement that you got a whole bunch of muck and mud and that these fish could die in if it's all mucky and murky down there, you know, because they got to get away from that and if it's just there. But the point is, Yahweh can stop life in anything. But I do not personally believe that the fish and what was in the waters were killed. I don't personally believe that.
Because the way I'm looking at it is
Okay.
that, I'm sorry.
No, I said, okay, go.
Oh, they would go above. As far as the water line could go, they could go, right?
Yeah, if it's fish, if it's in water, it's a fish. Yeah, it's a fish.
So they
it's in water.
didn't need to be in hibernation
No.
per se in the boat.
No. There's no fish. There are no fish in the boat. No. Man's job is to protect what is on the earth. Man has dominion over the dirt, y'all. Man has dominion over the earth. Man has dominion over the dirt. Y'all say that. Man has dominion over the dirt, not the whole earth.
Man has dominion over the earth, not the earth.
Y'all go out there and play in that water if you want to. That's why me and cruisers don't get along no more. I'm not going out there, that boat, like a little tic-tac in a tub. I'm not doing it. I did it too many times. I'm not messing with y'all. Cruises are pretty cool. What y'all do, but yeah, it ain't for me. I did them for the children and all the little, ministry things, and God gonna move on the waters. Yeah, I'm not messing with the water. I'm good with it. I'll eat from it because I can, because he gave me dominion over the fish of the sea. And if I get in a boat on it, I want a boat that can go far enough out that I can swim to get back on my own. And I can swim a little bit. You start taking me out, not going. I got dominion on dirt. I will kiss the dirt. That water, that's a whole nother story. Day 5 was not I did not get dominion over day 5. I got dominion over day 6.
Right.
Y'all better get that straight. I got dominion over day 6. The creeping things on the earth. The Adoma. Right. I got dominion over that. And the birds and the fish. A small portion of the creatures from the sea. I don't have dominion over that. I'm not going out there. Like I told y'all, you can go out there with your big old tub of tartar sauce and hunt Moby Dick if you want to in your canoe, and put an engine to it if you want to, and think you in control. God gave me dominion. Come here, Moby Dick. Okay, Moby gonna be like, just follow me out here a little bit. Come on, a little bit further. Come on. And then he jump up in there and splash, and your little canoe go turned over. And I read a story today. I shouldn't say it because I didn't vet it, but I'll say it and say I didn't vet it. The storyline was, I'm not laughing. I don't mean to laugh because I don't know if it's true or not. But the storyline was whale swallows 2 men kayaking. Yeah, that part. I'm good on the dirt. Yeah, y'all can keep that water. I'm not going out there. He didn't give me dominion over the water. He gave me dominion over the Adoma. That's what you got dominion over. Stop thinking you can go out there in the sea and tell Jaws to jump in your frying pan, and you can go out there and tell, SpongeBob to play you a song. No, you don't have dominion over the water. You got dominion over the Adoma. So Noah would not have any fish in the ark.
Yeah, I just was thinking about that when you were speaking. I was like,
Yeah,
there's no recording of that. So, yeah.
So when you think about that, you need to understand what it looks like and what it means. everything that Yahweh does for us it's unique in its own right. But he's very specific and he's very clear. He's very intentional. Let the earth, let the waters bring forth every creature in the waters. Then he tells you in the earth, I'm going to give you grass. Let the earth bring forth grass. Let the earth bring forth herbs that bear seed after its kind, and fruit trees that bear the seed of that fruit after its kind. So what came first, the chicken or the egg?
The chicken.
Absolutely. And I emphatically stand on that.
Yeah, that's good. Had to have a chicken to reproduce.
That's right. You had to have a man to reproduce. Man was not a baby. Adam was not a baby. Adam was full blown, grown like I am, like you are. He was made that way. To progenerate, that process incorporated birthing. Okay. Thank you, Montgomery. Who's after Montgomery? Sade, go.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Yeah, I just had a passing thought. You know how the earth replenishes itself, and being that the human body is a type of the earth, so to speak, it lends credence to that ideology that the body also replenishes.
It fixes it. Yeah, it rests. In the Sabbath, it rests.
Yes, and then with the word, it can replenish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was just a thought that just popped into my head. So thank you.
Right. And so, you know, people will have to understand that we have everything we need. Yeah.
That part.
Listen, y'all know Yahweh didn't make hospitals.
That part.
It's that one in the word.
Yeah, he didn't make a hospital. Was it inevitable that Adam could get injured? You know what I find funny? I used to laugh because being raised a human who thinks it's entitled, as all humans do, as we've been nurtured and cultured over time, I thought it was weird when a survivalist, Boy Scout, Cub Scout, military man who lived out lived on the land, he got an injury, cut his hand open deep, his arm open and his hand open, but he cut his arm open. I remember this. He cut his arm over. It had to be about a 6-inch laceration, maybe half an inch to a quarter inch to a half an inch deep at some point. And, you know, we were taught dirt is germs. You don't eat dirt. Buddy went and got some dirt, moist dirt. And when you think about dirt, all the bugs, all the waste, human and animals, he picked that dirt up and packed it in that cut. No Band-Aid. He packed dirt in there. Now, you can tell me what you want to tell me, but I know what I saw that man do. And I know that man didn't go to the hospital. And I'm not recommending it to anybody. You get your butt to the hospital. I don't know what's in the dirt today. Anywho, He packed that thing full of dirt. And as far as what he told us and what we knew about him day to day, with that, the way he bandaged that thing, how he took it off maybe every day or something, but that was it. He didn't do anything different. He put some salve on it, but he still packed it with dirt. I don't think he even had like a keloid or anything like that. He just maybe had a scar, no different from a Band-Aid, but he packed it with dirt. The earth has everything you need in it for the human. We afraid of dirt. We run from the thing that has the ability. It is the very makeup of your DNA. It's the very makeup of you. And we run from it because we've been taught, oh, it's dirty. That's nasty. That's not of God. Cleanliness is next to godliness. No dirt. Get the dirt. Sweep the dirt. Push the dirt out. Dust. Get the dust. Well, that dust is you if you're in your house. From dust thou art, to dust thou shalt return. That's too much for a Sabbath, right?
Is not. Keep it going.
No way. That's good.
But we don't factor this while we're reading the Bible. We don't factor this while we're reading the Torah. We don't factor this while we're doing our religious observance. And that's what Yahweh wants us in the Sabbath to do, to sit back and contemplate. And like he told Moshe, Selah. Think about it. Ponder this. Y'all want to do mud baths. Y'all, suddenly there was this mud bath craze. How many of y'all did a mud bath? I'm bougie. I did.
I did.
So now y'all going to confess it when I tell. Okay, all right, cool. Weirdest thing. Don't ask me why I felt charged when I got done.
Ain't reason why you say get in the garden and plant some.
Oh, listen. I've run, several landscaping companies. Yes. I stand 10 toes, 10 fingers down on that. Take your feet off, take your shoes off and walk on the beach. Take your shoes off and walk. Make yourself a sand pit, a dirt pit in your backyard. Walk with your feet in the mud, not sloppy, soupy mud, but mud that moves when you put your weight on it and oozes through your toes. Do that for 2 hours. For 7 weeks.
It's much healing in that.
Well, that's the point. The dirt is what you need. So we're not going to get off on that because then people start getting weird little stuff going on. So at the end of the day, just know the dirt is all you need. Dirt is what you're made of, and water. So you, me, all I am is a mud pie walking. And if I let the word saturate my life in the Sabbath, what can Yahweh form me into?
Amen.
What can he form us into? What can he do for us? Children would have a blast. We'd be mad as all get out. Our moms would be mad as all, but we would have a blast playing in mud, playing in dirt. We messed up that nice suit, that pretty white dress. Now, I don't want to get into that, so let's just get off of that. So understand that the earth is what you have dominion over. Your power is in the earth, being connected to it. Get your hands out there in the garden. trust, just go start producing something that comes from the earth and care for it. It will change your whole perspective on life. You will see so much more about life and how you care for it. Even your breath, talking to a plant, breathing on a plant, what comes out of you, how it affects that tree, affects that plant. There's a lot that goes on with that. So back to Torah here. So Bereshit chapter 1. Elohim said, let the waters bring forth. Verse 21. He created the great whales and everything that creeps and moves, which the waters brought forth abundantly, after their kind, every winged fowl after his kind. Elohim saw it was good. Elohim saw them, he blessed them, saying, be fruitful, multiply, and fill the waters of the seas, and let the fowl multiply in the earth. Let the fowl multiply in the earth. Let the fowl multiply in the earth. And the evening and the morning of the fifth day. 24 says, Elohim said, let the earth bring forth a living creature after its kind, cattle and creeping thing, and the beast of the earth after his kind. And it was so. Elohim made the beast of the earth after his kind, cattle after their kind, everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. Elohim saw that it was good. Elohim then said, let us make man. Do not forget, Yahweh made us with purpose. Let's make him in our image, our likeness. Let him have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, over the cattle, over all the earth, over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So Elohim created man in his own image of Elohim created he him, male and female created he them. Elohim baruched them and said unto them, be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, over every living thing that moves upon the earth. So people just assume when they said fish of sea that, a shark was a fish, and it's not. An octopus is not a fish. A seahorse is not a fish. A clam or oyster is not a fish. And over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moves upon the earth. And Elohim said, behold, I have given you herb bearing seed. There it is again. He didn't give you seed. He gave you the herb that bears the seed. Which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, and which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. And every beast of the earth, and the fowl of the air, and everything that creepeth upon the earth therein, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. That it was, and it was so. Elohim saw everything that he had made. Behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day, day 6.
Sim 10.
Then you have Yahweh moving out of this. And I want to try to be very clear on this, because verse chapter 1, people have been using this to say, see, God wants us to be vegans, or God wants us to be vegetarian. No, you got canines in your mouth for a reason. You have canine teeth for a reason. And he wants us to eat the lamb. So there's no way in the world Yahweh wants us to be without and be just vegan. And the meat is a process that he wants. Now, I don't fight with anybody about your preferences of lifestyle and your choices, but when I read this writ, this is not justification for veganism or vegetarianism, which I am not against. I think it's still a great thing. You can get as much protein from vegetation as you can get in some cases from meats and have to eat less. But do not use this for, or let anyone use this for, see, God gave us the green herb for meat. That's out of context. You have some herbivore teeth, but you also have canine flesh tearing teeth in your mouth as well. So if you were not to eat anything but green, herbs, you take that up with the Father. But Elohim saw that everything he had made, behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Before I leave chapter 1, who came on next? I think it was it Sam?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, good. What you got? Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. One of them was that part about the meat, but you answered it right there.
Oh, okay.
But then the other one was verse 27, where he created man in his own image. The image of God, he created them, male and female created them. Mm-hmm. Why is that there? And then in verse 2, 3, 8, 7 is when he finally created man. Was it not there? My question may not. So it say created man and female right there, but male and female in 27, but then it's really in chapter 2, because he needed them to till the ground, or so I'm wondering, well, did he really create right there, or was it really always down?
You have to read this. You have to read it in context. And the thing that you're new to teaching. So what I want y'all to catch is, remember, you have chronological leaps. You have a narrator telling a story. You're not always getting it in the chronology of time. And sometimes they leap forward, sometimes they leap back, to tell you, here is where we are, but this is where it started. And then you jump back 20 years. So he did make humanity. He made humanity male and female, meaning that inside of the first masculine, the first male, the first human, the first human were two components. One, the external component and the head were the masculinity, and the womb area for reproduction was the female. So you had a male factor and a female factor in one body. That's why you go to Genesis chapter 5 and you get the generations of Adam.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome. So when Yahweh does say male and female, he created he them, and he called their name Adam. The first human was both male and female. And another disclaimer, Yahweh is not something that can be used to say, see, the alternative lifestyles of others, which that's your choice. That's between you and Elohim. But that is nothing to indicate, because both male and female were in the same body, that it should justify any of the claims today that there is this gender confusion, because there's no correlation there that can be made that Yahweh made a mistake and some entity is trapped in another body. That this does not justify any of that. But the first human was in fact atypical. So masculine and feminine were in that same body. Then when he put man to sleep, he pulled out of man the womb man, the female factor, and gave her own pulchritude. Make sense, Santana?
Yes, sir.
Good. So when we read these passages, we have to take our time and read them and take them in. Don't just scream through them. So Genesis chapter 2 is what we're going to do, and then I'm going to let you guys go because I'm my throat's going, and I want to make sure I got some time to spend with y'all tomorrow morning. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day, the day, Elohim ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh from all of his work which he had made. Elohim then Baruch day 7. He sanctified day 7, because in day 7 he had rested from all of his work which Elohim had created and Elohim had made. So how to Shabbat has a Torah guide. You don't have to guess and think, overthink, or what have you. It's in the writ. I hope we sort of kind of understand this stuff. I hope it makes sense. I speak Shabbat Shalom to every single solitary one of you. There is a blessing in that Shabbat Shalom. And thank you, Andrew. Andrew brought up Shivers brought up the kosher issue. And if you are a Sabbath keeper, the Torah has its command on dietary law. There are some things that happen with Peter that there is a live debate on within Christendom. However, the word is clear. But the one thing that he did not do with Peter was put shellfish on that sheep. He put the beast of the field, but he did not put the day 5 creatures. So there is a doctrine out, which I am subscribed to, that the unclean that he talked about to Peter on the roof of beasts, chew the cud, don't chew the cud, split hoof, cloven hoof, don't call anything I've made unclean. But that was for what was on top of the dirt, not inside the waters. There's nothing referencing day 5's creatures on that chart or that sheet that Peter experienced. Okay. Zion, I'm going to have to get ready to get going. I can feel my throat scratching. Yahweh will heal me. I promise you. Yahweh Rapha is our healer. I will give it some rest. We'll come back tomorrow. Should be around 11:30-ish a.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. Those that you can join, if you want to join, if it's your lifestyle, to be here. Or make sure you're doing what you got to do to make sure you bring glory to Elohim by virtue of his Torah today. Isaiah 58:13-14. Always remember that. Don't speak your own words in this day. And if they are, they better connect directly back to a very significant point from the Torah. Facts. Yahweh, thank you for the day, time, and space. Thank you for the opportunity. This is your day that you've made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. Grace us now with your wisdom and your understanding that we can be more like you in this Shabbat. We don't want to speak our own words. We want yours. Help us to be very leery of where we go and all these places we like to jump in and jump out of. But Father, make sure that we're in a space that is not serving, but a pace and a space that is studying together without trying to be, make a name for oneself. We just want to make your name great in the earth, in the Shabbat. This is our earnest prayer. In the mighty name of Yeshua HaMashiach, we pray and we say, Amen. All right, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and get going. I'll see y'all on a few hours from now when I come back on to do some more studies and get ready. But until then, we speak Shalom Aleichem to you. May y'all.
If you need truth, this is the place for you. Don't need to complicate it. It's best to keep it basic. Open the book, the word is self-approved. He's Alpha and Omega, the answer since the early ages. What you should do is learn about the greatest. Just so you know, our door is always open. Let's study together instead of debating. Share our differences. Let love heal all that's broken.
Room will end in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.